Namaste. Grade 8 Subject Science and Technology, Unit 1. Dear students, you are warm welcome here in the today's class. We are presenting the first lesson of the Chapter 1, Unit 1, Scientific Learning. Do you know what is scientific learning? You have already learned about the scientific learning in grade 7, and here we are continuing some of the specific procedures and scientific learning processes. Let's think, what is scientific learning? Yes, have you thought that? Do you know what is scientific learning? Dear students, look at here. I've got some of the items here. What are these? Think carefully. Let's connect them. See, they join together. What is the reason behind it? Yes, you have some of the curiosity in your mind. You know, scientific learning thus begins from the curiosity on object or situation or event. Look at this picture. What do you see here? Look here carefully. What are the things around? There is water, then greenery, trees are there, and the cloud is moving there. Do you know what type of environment is there? Yes, it is a type of environment. Such type of environment we can observe around us, around our school, around our house, and wherever we are. Yes, because we are also the member of the environment. Dear students, scientific learning begins from curiosity and events. Look at here. What do you observe here? Yes, here is a burning candle. How is candle born? What is the reason behind it? Think carefully. Have you ever discussed on it? Yes, of course. You may have learned about it because candle is burning. Here is a fuel, that is hydrocarbon, a type of hydrocarbon chemical substance is there, and it is burning. Why the burning flame is moving up and down? Yeah, there is a kinetic energy in the burning objects. Yes, so in every fact, every event, there is scientific reason. So the scientific learning begins from the curiosity on object, situation, or events. Then, students, we have to question. When we have curiosity on our mind, then we raise the question, why? Why it happening? Then, how it happens? How it is doing? How it is happening? Then, when? When does it occur? That is also another question. Dear students, then where it occurs, where it happens, then what is it? Yes, these are some of the questions that raise along with our curiosity while learning scientifically. If we learn any object scientifically, then we have to raise the question. We should have the critical thinking ability. Do you know critical thinking? Yes, critical thinking means questioning ability. We have to question that. Why? How? When? Where? And what? These are the major questions that arise along with the learning process. Dear students, the scientific learning involves what type of activities? Yes, the learning activities performed inside and outside the science lab or classroom are scientific learning activities. Remember once again, we have learned so many activities. We are engaged in the different learning activities. These activities are performed. Some activities are performed within the science lab or classroom or beyond the classroom. Is it? What type of activities are performed in science lab? Let's discuss. See here, here students are engaged in the scientific learning activities. They are preparing some of the model. They are engaged in a contest of design thinking approach. They are preparing a tallest tower applying paper. A paper sheet can be converted into a tallest tower by the collaborative engagement of the student. Students are engaged collaboratively. They work together, enjoy together. I think you are also doing so. And look at here, what do you see? Yes, here is a bird, beautiful bird in the garden. What is bird doing there? Definitely, bird is searching something food, isn't it? Have you seen this bird, this beautiful crane? Yes, and look at here, one kid is doing something. What is he doing? He is searching, he is using eyeglass, hand lens. By using hand lens, he is observing something. Maybe the parts of the flower. Do you know? The flower a flower has the different parts. Do you know the parts of flower? Yes, what is this? This is a leaf, and below the flower there is a calyx, there is collar part, corolla. If you observe this flower deeply, you can see this type of organs, this type of parts, which can be calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. And how do we observe such different parts? By using eyeglass or hand lens. We can use hand lens, isn't it? Lens is a power glass which a person is engaged in that activity which we have observed here. Look at here. What do you see? Yes, some of the students are engaged in preparing new paper from the waste paper. Do you have idea of that? Yes, this is also one of the project activity, because we can reuse the waste paper also by this method. This is done outside the science lab, isn't it? And here, what do you see here? Yes, some of the students are engaged in the garden or in the field work. And look at here, one student of junior grade. What is she doing there? Yes, she is observing flower. Probably she is caring the flower, isn't it? Do you have this type of idea or experience? Have you ever done these experiences? Definitely, because we like the garden, we like to visit outside, and we can work inside the class and outside the classroom also. So learning is possible not only inside the classroom, not only inside the science laboratory. Learning is possible outside the science laboratory, even in the environment, even in the garden, in the playground, isn't it? So scientific learning has the broad aspects, broad areas, and so many things to learn scientifically. Dear students, in scientific learning process, look at here, the process of acquiring knowledge and the understanding through systematic observation, experimentation, and analysis. Let's repeat it. Scientific learning is a process of acquiring knowledge, gaining knowledge, and understanding through the scientific observation, experimentation, and analysis. We can do experiment, we can analyze the result, we can get the result from the experiment, then the result can be analyzed. We can observe systematically wherever we are. So by the observation also we can receive some of the facts, and we can get the conclusion by analytical process. This is our analytical skill. So scientific learning is an analytical process, and it involves the various skills. What are the various skills? As we have already discussed, questioning skills. Yes, we have curiosity. curiosity raise the question. So we have the questioning skills, then we need measurement skills. Do you know? Yes, I have this tool. How long is it? How long is it? Can you say directly? It's difficult to say. I also cannot say accurately. Then how to find it's accurate? Yes, we can measure it. We should have this type of measuring tool, isn't it? So when we measure it, then we can say how long is it, isn't it? So by measurement, measurement is also a scientific skill, scientific process. That is the scientific learning process. And after measurement, then it involves the interpretation. It involves interpretation means discussion, analysis, evaluation, isn't it? So then communication. What is communication? When we understand something, we should communicate others. We should relay the message. We should share the message among others. We can share among friends, among teachers, and the difficulties we can ask by question answer method. Yes, and the problem solving, ultimately our goal is problem solving. That is, we should solve the problem, we should solve the issue, existing issue, by the process of scientific learning. And scientific learning contributes to the overall scientific method. Remember, overall scientific method, I've already stated that scientific learning is a broad aspect. It is not the narrow aspect, because we can learn in overall method aimed at the increasing knowledge. Its main aim is to increase knowledge, to broaden our knowledge, increasing knowledge through the systematic collection of authentic information. Do you know what is the authentic information? Yes, real information, field-based information, project-based information, lab-based information, which is based on the reality. Yes, truth reality. Yes, that is the authentic information, its interpretation, and ultimately draw the conclusion. That is the scientific learning. Authentic information can be interpreted scientifically, and we can draw the conclusion, so that we can believe in the theory, whether the theory or our hypothesis is correct or not, isn't it? That is the scientific learning process. And what are the activities involved in the scientific learning process? Let's think. Think carefully. Okay, we came to know that there are the different activities. Look at it. What is this? Observation. Yes, observation. We can observe. We can observe by using our sense organ. If the sense organ cannot work properly, then we should use the tool. What tool is used here? Yes, here is use eyeglass. We can use, if the minute objects are there, tiny objects are there, if eyeglass cannot demonstrate, then we can use microscope too. Yes, this is observation. After observation, another scientific learning process is, what do you see here? Yes, students are engaged in survey activities. I think they are the engineering students, isn't it? They survey, field survey they are doing. So that is also another activity. Look at here. What are they doing? They are testing. They are testing something. They are testing in a model which they have prepared. We can test any items, any fact scientifically. Look at here then. What is this? Model construction. Do you have an idea of this model? What do you see here? Look at here. Here is one black ball. Then that black one is connected with one stick, and there is white ball, isn't it? Look at here. What type of model is it? Do you have any idea? Let's discuss on this model. Yes, maybe it is C, it is H, 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 H. Then what happened this? It became CH4, a chemical substance, methane. Yes, methane is a hydrocarbon because there is carbon and hydrogen. So this type of structure also we can discuss by model presentation, isn't it? Which you have seen in the picture as a model about the methane, ethane, propane. These hydrocarbon you can study in the class 9 and 10. Students, look at here. What do you see then? Project work. Yes, scientific learning involves the project work also. Have you prepared some of the project? Of course, you have done. Dear students, let's discuss about the science laboratory. Let's think, what is science laboratory? Have you ever been to science laboratory? Do you have any idea or experience of working in the science laboratory? Sure. Yes, because we have work in the science laboratory. See, what do you see here? There is a microscope. Yes, microscope is for observation activity of the minute and tiny organism, isn't it? Which are not possible to observe through our eyes. Then, what is there in the laboratory? Look at here. What do you see in this picture over here? Yes, here is a working table. You can see there are so many chemicals. There are the chemicals and cupboards are there where chemicals are placed, and many students are working there. This is science laboratory. So how do you define science laboratory? Think carefully. We should define what is science laboratory. Look at here. Other students are also engaged in some of the activities. Maybe they are observing the biological specimen there, which are preserved, kept in the science laboratory. Yes, you also think, what have you seen in the science laboratory? Okay. Students, in the science laboratory, look at here, so many items are kept there, mainly the apparatus and chemicals. Apparatus, chemicals, tools and other devices are placed in the science laboratory systematically, and some of the chemicals are harmful too. So we should be careful while handling or testing these chemicals or doing activities. That also we'll discuss in this class. Look at here. Here are the chemicals which are kept in the different apparatus. These are the funnel, flask, cylinders, isn't it? And we can see the colorful chemicals also. These activities can be funny also. But remember, we have to be very careful while engaging in the laboratory activities. Students, in the science laboratory, we came to the conclusion of the definition of science laboratory. Look at it. Science lab is a specially designed section or space or a room where various scientific studies and experimental activities are conducted. What are done in the science laboratory? Yes, experimental activities and scientific studies are conducted because it is the research area also. Science laboratory is a research place where we can research, we can try to find the new thing, new facts based on the scientific theories and procedure. So the science laboratory is a specially designed place because practical activities related to the science content are performed in the science lab. What do we do in science lab? Yes, practical activities related to science contents, science curriculum, science lessons. Yes, remember what type of science lesson, science content you have learned in the science laboratory. I like science laboratory very much. Do you like? Sure. Everybody likes science laboratory because we can do the funny activities, funny work. And various apparatus and the chemicals for the scientific study, experiment and research are kept in science lab. What are kept? Yes, apparatus, chemical, which are needed for the scientific study, which are needed for the experiment and research work. Students, we have learned what is science laboratory. Then science laboratory, in the science lab, we can engage in the scientific observation. We can engage in the scientific test. We can engage in the scientific experiment related to scientific fact or science facts, theories, objects and matters, isn't it? These are performed in the science lab. See, what do we see? Yes, different activities are performing in the science lab. Some are testing activities, some are observing activities, some are analytical activities, isn't it? Yes, this is the place, this is the area, this is the room where we can do various scientific activities, we can engage in the scientific process. So, now we came to this important point that we have to adopt, we have to follow the precautions. Some of the precautions are required while performing scientific practical activities. Do you know what precautions? Yes, you have seen some of the precautions are adopted here, isn't it? Look here, what is this? Yes, we have to wear gloves, isn't it, while doing scientific activities. We have to wear gloves. Then we have to wear this. What is this? Yes, mask. We have to wear mask. Not only that, students, I have one more item. What is this? This is a lab coat. Student, we have to wear a lab coat. This is apron or lab coat, and it is applied, used while performing scientific activities. And sometimes if some of the activities or experiments are in danger, then we have to wear the goggles too. Safety, eye safety glass or goggles also can be used. So now we are going to discuss about what are the precautions required for the science laboratory while working in the science laboratory. See, precautions to be taken while performing experimental work in the science laboratory. Dear students, random scientific experiment or random scientific work without safety measure may cause accident and observation, test and result as well. So that we have to take the precaution, we have to adopt safety precaution. We should not do any work haphazardly, otherwise we may harm, we may suffer from the injury, we may suffer from the accident. Yes, you must have known that also. So let's discuss what safety rule we should follow. Look at here. As I have demonstrated you, we have to use the goggles, we have to use the lab coat, and we should use the mask, isn't it? Even the gloves also, so that we can be safe from the possible burning of the chemicals. So, random scientific work without safety measure may cause accident and observation, test and result as well. Result also, observation and our test also will not be accurate. There can be the problem. So, let's discuss. We should follow, we must follow the safety rule. What are the safety rules we should follow? Definitely, first safety rule is materials should not be handled haphazardly. Means we should not handle material with bare hand. You should not toss acid, base or salt or any chemical by your bare hands, isn't it? Haphazardly doing work can cause the accident. Another point is mask, gloves and lab goggles should be worn. Lab goggles is there. There should be the mask and gloves too in some of the activities. An apron or lab coat must be put on while doing experimental work in the science lab, isn't it? Lab coat. That can be white or sky blue or any comfortable color as per the rule of your school laboratory. So, an apron can protect our body or protect our dress from burning or damaging through the chemical. Similarly, we should follow another safety activity, that is, hands should be washed thoroughly with soap and water. Dear students, we must use soap and water, and we should wash our hand after completing scientific activities, after completing the laboratory activities. Another important point, eating, drinking, playing, teaching is strictly prohibited while engaging in the science lab. We should not eat anything. We should not drink there. Understood? We should not eat anything. Even the sugar or any food item, we cannot eat in the science lab, because in the science lab, the eating or food item also can be considered as the chemical in the lab. So, be aware, we should not eat. We should not drink, because there may be the acid, base or any harmful chemical. So, by mistakenly if we drink that thinking it is water, but it may cause the serious effect to our body, and the accident, by the accident we should be saved. So, not to play in the science lab, playing, teaching, not to teach your friend, not to teach, not to joke inside the science lab, because it is the strict place. So, it is this type of activities are strictly prohibited while engaging in the science lab. Yes. And another point is, the chemical must not be tested nor smell in the lab. What taste is it, or what smell does it have? With that curiosity, if you engage in that activities, then that is a harmful activity. So, it is the beyond the safety rule in the science lab. So, we should be very careful, we should be aware while doing such activities in the science lab. And another important point is, special care should be adopted while using burner or touching any hot objects. There is a burner, Bunsen burner. After in the Bunsen burner, this is burner. If we use burner for any chemical analysis or heating process, there is a porcelain basin. In the porcelain basin, we have put here wire gauze under the basin. First, we should put wire gauze on the tripod stand. Then, in this boiling object, if you touch it directly, then it can burn your hand. And if we put this directly on our table, working table, then it can harm our table. So, we should apply any safety tool. Safety tool are there, tongue are there. So, we should not keep any hot object directly on the table, and should not touch too, because it can cause burn injury to our body, to our hand. Next point is, hot apparatus or equipment should not be placed directly on the working table. Yes, special care should be adopted. We should not touch the hot object, one point. Next point is, we should not put the hot object on the table directly. Then only the prescribed method should be followed while performing experimental work in science laboratory. Do you know? While performing experimental work in science laboratory, we should not engage by ourselves without any guidance of the teacher, without any prescribed rules and regulations. So, these are the safety rules which we should follow strictly while engaging in science lab. So, science lab is that special place, that special area where practical activities are performed to draw the conclusion by interpretation of the result, but we should not forget to follow the safety rules. Dear students, some of the scientific studies can be performed, but safety rules are included in the manual for grade 8 too. So that manual we have to read thoroughly, and what is written there we should follow accordingly. Everybody should be aware of the emergency exit in the science lab. By chance, in case if there is any accident, then we should escape from the science lab. So there should be emergency exit, emergency door. That knowledge also we should have among us to escape from the possible accident. Dear students, we have discussed about what is scientific learning, what is scientific learning process, what are the activities involved in the scientific learning in the today's class, and we have discussed about the science laboratory, what is science laboratory, and what are the activities done in the science laboratory. Now, we are going to have one exercise based on the today's lesson. What exercise? Sure. Choose the correct alternatives. Students, here are some of the questions and here are some of the alternative answers. So, let's read out the alternative and what is the correct answer of that question. Let's find out. Okay. The first question is, what is science laboratory? What is science laboratory? There are the alternative answers. The first answer is, it is a place or area where research work are conducted. Second one is, it is a place or area where survey works are conducted. Third one is, it is a place or room where hypotheses are formulated. And the fourth one is, it is a place or room where scientific experiments are conducted. Did you find the correct one? Definitely. Let's check out it. Sure. This is the correct answer. It is a place or room where scientific experiments are conducted. Now, let's go to the question number 2. What are kept in a science laboratory? What are kept in a science laboratory? Let's find the correct answer. First answer is necessary equipments and chemicals for scientific study. Second one is necessary equipment and tools for the scientific study. Third one is necessary books and accessories for scientific study. And the last one is necessary materials and specimens for scientific study. Students, all the answers are looking like correct answer, but we have to find the best one. Did you find? Yes, let's check it. Yes, necessary equipments and chemicals for scientific study are kept in science laboratory. Students, we have one more question. Let's discuss the question number 3. What should not be done in a science laboratory? What should not be done in a science laboratory? Let's think the correct one. Hand should be washed with soap and water. Is it correct? Or second one, chemicals should be tested and smell properly. Is it correct one? Or a lab coat, mask, gloves and goggles should be worn. Is it correct? Or materials should not be handled haphazardly. Which one is the correct one? The question is, what should not be done? We should not be done in the science laboratory. Definitely, you have already found the correct answer. Let's check it out. Sure. Chemicals should not be tested and smell properly. Dear students, in today's class, we have discussed about scientific learning process. What is scientific learning? What are the activities done in scientific learning? We have learned it. And together with, we have discussed about the laboratory, science laboratory. Science laboratory is a special place or area designed for the scientific experiment. And what are the precautions to be adopted? What are the precautions we have to follow while working in the science laboratory? That also we have discussed. I think you have enjoyed today's class. And this much for today. And see you in the next class. Namaste.